we probably ought to get to our buy sell here. Have some wants. I just got a couple of things. I guess what is today? Let's see, May 27th, 2022. And let's see, John Lee, St. Louis Real Estate Investors Association, and everybody that would like to network, I welcome you here. We got a couple of just things next week. If you're not aware, Jeffrey Taylor, Mr. Landlord, is having his convention in St. Louis again. He hasn't been here in a couple of years. That's the second, third, and fourth. You might have seen we sent out an email, and I don't know if there's anything on the STLREIA website or not, but you can get a $50 discount over what he charges. It's my experience is in the past that he puts a lot of content in for just a few $100s, a couple $100s. So you get a lot of good national speakers. He really gives you a lot. So if you haven't been to one, or if you want to get some updates and see what people are doing now, it's a good convention. It's at the Renaissance here in St. Louis over by the airport. He always has it the same place. So that's the second, third, and fourth, which is Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. He doesn't, he never has anything on Sunday. Other thing, mark your calendar.
What's the date on that Thursday, Friday, and Saturday?
Second, third, and fourth. I think
Coming up?
check-in's 8 o'clock on the second, and then he actually starts at 8:30.
Oh, okay, that won't work for me, I can tell.
All right. Well, if you haven't seen the information, it's out there. You can look at his website too. I know on his particular one, he has it. Also on the 14th, we have a very exclusive, kind of like an insider's presentation from JT Foxx, one of my coaches. He's the #1 wealth and business coach in the world. I don't believe we'll be allowed to have a replay, but so do count on put it on your schedule to show up at 6:30. It'll be a brief meeting too. It'll be good though. But I'll tell you, he a lot of times I don't know what he'll say, but he will talk to people. And I know with me, he's turned around my business within just a couple of minutes of talking to me. And I watched him do this on other people. I'm in a couple of the other groups. Some of these people, they do deals at, hundreds of millions of dollars, millions of dollars, hundreds of millions. But what's nice is they also do things down to like, in fact, the last week, somebody was in there presenting a deal that was only 129,000 out of Florida. So it's not that you're out of place, don't feel like they're too big to sit there at the table. And I learn a lot just by watching the deals they do, because the deals, I know one of the things that I've always looked at is doing the smaller deals, but you can scale those up to any size deal you want. They just add other zeros. And that's kind of what I'm learning about some of these other things. You go by the numbers, but more than anything else, they go by relationships, then is what they actually do. And that's how most of the deals get done. Then that's on the 14th. So be sure you register for that. I'll send out a reminder for that. And then on the main meeting on June 21st, the third Tuesday of June, we have Flair Staging. They put together a presentation for how we should stage our houses and what a lot of people miss when they go to sell stuff. And so they're always good. And they were with Jan Duke last year, I don't know, sometime. And they did a brief little presentation on some of that, but they're going to go into some more detail. And staging your house could make all the difference on how much you get. So that's what we have coming up. And then next Friday, of course, we have Catherine Davis for Ask the Attorney before we get started. So that's about all I have to say right now. Does anybody have anything they want to buy, sell, they need, haves and wants? Any contractors they need? Anything else?
I'm kind of new here. Like, is there parameters on this or?
No.
Okay.
Whatever you want to talk about.
I'm buying land in Arkansas. If anybody has any land that they would like to unload in Arkansas, I'm pretty open to all different kinds of land. So I would really like to buy some land that's mobile home friendly, so I can lease it out to mobile home people. But if you have any land or know anybody that's got any land in Arkansas, I do buy it cheap, but I've got the cash for it, so it's kind of a fast sale. So,
yeah, Travis, if you want to put your contact info in the chat, however you want people to get
okay,
a hold of you, that's always helpful.
All right.
So Anybody selling anything in Arkansas?
Well,
So,
just
Travis, I'm not-
curious.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, I
Amber.
was just quick because a lot of I believe the investors that are on this call are probably from Missouri. Would you also be open to Missouri land? Because I know we have a lot of Missouri land as well.
Well, I haven't thought about it. At some point, I probably will be expanding somewhere. I was thinking I wanted to stay close to home, and Missouri obviously is just right up north for me. So, I mean, I'm not completely against it. I just try to keep it simple with my LLCs and everything. But now that I have John to help me, like he probably knows all the ins and outs of Missouri stuff. So, I may be like open to it. I don't want to compete with John though.
There is no competition. There's so
Okay.
much to go around for everybody.
So yeah, if you want to shoot me some Missouri land, actually they'll give you probably phone number is the worst way to do it. I don't know why I did that. Let me give you the best email address. And I
Well, I would
apologize if I'm not
yeah, I
following
was-
protocol.
No, you're fine. I would suggest stating it out loud. John will probably read it, but
Okay.
because these are recorded, we heard you earlier say you don't want people to have your phone number. So the best way to contact you, I would say just put, state your email.
Yes, ma'am. So I put it in the chat box, but it's Big Mojo Capital at gmail.com. That's BIGMOJOCAPITAL at gmail.com. Big Mojo Capital.
So Amber, do you have land for sale in Missouri?
I have land not for sale. I was just helping out another investor stating that I heard him say, I think a couple times that he's buying in Arkansas, but just an FYI, I believe that there's probably more people here with land in Missouri, I would assume. So,
Probably, yeah. I appreciate that, Amber.
yeah.
Yeah. Typically, most of the people are from Missouri area, but we do have people globally tune in. We had a guy from India just a couple weeks ago. Afina tunes in from New Zealand quite often, and then like Gingy and some of them from Australia. So yeah, it's all over the place. I know we have people from Canada too. So yeah, it's wide open. We're not really limited, but that's expand our horizons because you never know. I used to only concentrate, in my area, but I found that there's so much stuff everywhere else. It's hard for me to get out of Missouri though, because there's so many deals. One of the goals I looked at before, and I say goals, but it was just kind of like an idea. I wanted to have something, a piece of property in all 50 states. As I start doing some of these little deals I'm doing though, I found Missouri's got 115 counties, and it's just, there's just so much inventory, and I'm sure Arkansas is the same way. And I know it's probably, I don't know do you know how many counties are in Arkansas?
I don't know off the top of my
Trip?
head. I probably should know, but I'm only working 3 counties pretty much right now. I've probably sent out mailers to all the counties, but they kind of, you figure out which ones you like and I'm like you, I like the lake communities a lot. I live in a lake community too. So.
Mm-hmm. And we're going to look at one. We were talking about that before a lot of people got on here. You'll be there Wednesday on our other private group there, Travis. But I was in a meeting the other day, and they're doing a big development down in Branson. Okay.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
And there's what I remember from before, and I bought and sold a lot of properties around here for back Texas, but they're looking in Taney County in particular. So I looked it right up, and there's still tax properties you can buy there, even though they're not too far away. They're doing these developments, millions of dollars of deals, because here's the thing I didn't realize: Branson is the number 3 vacation destination now in the United States.
Yeah.
You got Hawaii number 1, Charleston, South Carolina is number 2, which surprised me. And then you got Branson number 3, and then it goes on down from there. Because you'd think it would be, I would think anyway, it would be Las Vegas or parts of Florida and stuff, but it's not. So Branson's number 3, and they've got deals where they're some of these people are paying a few $1,000s a night for Airbnbs, which really amazed me.
Yeah.
So I don't know. We'll look at some of that stuff though, because they still got tax properties,
Great.
it's just it's great. Yeah. But yeah, just you know what I found too, and with a lot of people too, though, is we all seem to do that. I think that's the best way to do it, to start with around your immediate area. And then once you get some deals under your belt, then look at some other stuff in other places, you know. So yeah. So there's a good one right there from Travis. He's looking for some Arkansas property.
Hey, Travis, does it matter if it's listed or off market?
I mean, to be real transparent, I'm just looking to get it cheap and do a fast transaction. We're pretty good. I'll pay a little bit more than the other wholesalers or whatever out there, because we're really, really good at selling it. And I don't mind being the bank, so I'll put it on financing. But yeah, I don't matter. It doesn't matter to me.
Okay, so as long as your numbers work, it can be listed on the MLS, as
Yeah,
long as you get to buy it for what you want.
Yeah, I just bought one in Bella Vista that was on the MLS. So
Okay.
as long as we get a fairly good deal on it and I can make the numbers work on terms, then I'm open to it.
Okay, great. Well, I don't have anything, but I may have a connection for you. So
That's great. Yeah. thank
I
you.
will get you connected with a gentleman that I know that does a lot of like exclusively land and all over. So
Laura, thank you. That's
Yeah,
great.
sure,
Fantastic.
no problem. Okay, I'll go with a want. Does anyone have a property that they want to sell off market? Does anybody, whether it can be turnkey or a fixer upper, maybe you've got a portfolio of properties and you've just got one that is just kind of dragging the group down, anything that anybody wants to get rid of. I will put my contact information in the chat. My name's Laura. I've been, in the business, real estate investing for about 8 years. I've done more wholesale deals than I can count. I'm also in buyer mode myself, getting ready to close on an 11 unit building in South County, and have another, already started a small portfolio. So I'm looking for deals for myself, but I can also, I'm also very well connected to other buyers. And I've done a ton of deals with other investors. It's actually become more of my bread and butter to not be direct to seller, like non-investor seller, but to be direct to investor seller. So anyway, please feel free to reach out to me. I'd love to talk to anyone and everyone about, property that they may, or multiple properties they may want to be letting go of. I do have contacts that are paying more than like 70% minus repairs. So if you say, oh, I'm not going to talk to her because it'll be too low. Well, maybe I won't be. So give me a ring, give me a holler, let me know what you've got. And like I said, I'll have my information in the chat. Also, last thing, by the way, I operate in Illinois and Missouri. So if, don't be afraid to reach out to me about the Illinois side. I do plenty of deals over here. I live in Edwardsville. And last thing, since I am now purchasing and doing BRRRR method on apartment complexes for myself, I am looking for private money. I don't think I need private money for this deal I'm getting ready to close on. I do need it, but I think I've got it already. But what I would like to start is compiling a list of people who do private money on things like this. So what I'll be doing is buying creatively with seller, like either subject to or seller financing, and then, shoring up any cash needed for repairs or other things like that with private money, and then refinancing as quickly as possible out of the properties. So that's going to be my my method. I'm actually working with a very strong partner as well, so it's not just me, and we would just love to get to know people who are looking to put private money out for projects like that. So that's what I'm looking for, everybody. Looking to help you sell your deals, your dogs, your whatever you've got that you own. Looking for some private money. Looking to connect people like Travis with people that I know for value add services, Illinois and Missouri. Thank you.
Thank you, Laura. Please put your contact info in the chat that you like for us to get a hold of. And yeah, Laura does great. She, I don't know if you've seen her, she did a presentation for us maybe a little over a year ago on wholesaling from the heart. And she is one of them people that does stuff. She creates the win-win-win situations that I talk about sometimes, because I know she's done some deals. I've seen her walk away from some deals, redo some deals that not a lot of people would do. She is more about relationships and about value added. If you have not watched the Wholesaling from the Heart with Laura, let me know and I'll give you a link to it, but it's definitely worth your while to see that, because Laura is one of the very, very valuable member of our group and our community in general. So yeah, I really thank you, Laura, for sharing that with us.
Yeah, thanks, John. I appreciate it. And for anyone who needs to hear it rather than read it, I'll just put my phone number out there. It's 636-587-0363. And again, my email and phone number is also in the chat, but 636-587-0363. Thank you.
Anybody else got anything they'd like to share with us today? Good. Anybody need any work done? Any contractors? Any contractors here that want to share anything, what their expertise is?
I'll jump on real quick. Hey, it's Scott Winkleman. A lot of familiar faces, some new names I don't know or recognize, but I am doing exterior restoration work. So roof, siding, gutters, those types of home improvements. And I also mentioned last week that I've got a couple of guys that are kind of fell into I kind of fell into them, and they've been working for me for about a month now, and I'm just trying to keep them busy doing some jobs. I see Bruce is on here. I have these guys are going to be helping out Bruce with one of his properties tomorrow, knocking out some stairs. So they're great demo guys, and if you guys need anything, demo clean outs, things like that, that's what I'm kind of starting them off with that until I get a real good handle on their skill set, which I kind of have a good handle on, but just want to make sure that whatever needs to get done is done right and done well, and kind of build from there. So let me know if you need anything. I'll put my contact in the chat again. And also, I do have a handful of referrals for different subcontractors like wood floor refinishers, painters, that I've worked with, before on properties and renovations. So anybody's looking for those types of guys, I have a few, not all. So the goal is to build up a Rolodex and work with as many people as I can to really help people out where they need it. So thanks.
Thank you, Scott. Can you, yes, please put your contact info in the chat for us. It looks like Steve Patel needs a insulation person, below insulation and attic. Does anybody know any insulation people? Scott, do you do anything like that?
I've done it before. It's fun.
Well, it's fun.
Yeah.
All right, Steve, you want to put your contact information in the chat for anybody that may want to get a hold of you? Maybe like Scott, and you guys could talk about that.
Yeah, feel free to reach out. That's it's not too difficult of a job. It's just kind of messy, and you got to bring the machine in to blow it in, and just make sure we get the right R value that you need. So reach out to me, and we can talk.
Thank you. Yeah, I just put the link in there for Laura Lennington's presentation she had with us last year at STLREIA. That's a good one to watch, though. There's our the links in there. So if you haven't seen it, I'd recommend watching that. You'll know a little bit more about Laura, which you could probably tell how she is just by how she talks, though. It's definitely a good person to have as part of our group here. Let's see. Okay, anybody else have anything they'd like to share with us today?
This is Jean. And
Yes, ma'am.
I have maybe a question, but first of all, our want is we're always looking for a property rehab in South Cities, South St. Louis, South County area primarily. So if anyone knows of anything. And Jim, I did check that one in Fenton that you suggested last week that's going on auction, and it's up to 187,000 today. So that's kind of out of that wouldn't leave any room for rehabbing. So
Yeah, I understand that, and that's the problem with auctions. It looks like a good deal one day, and then
yes.
the next day or the next couple of days later, it's like, whoa, that's way too expensive. No, I understand. Just something I threw out there. But you might want to
thank you.
You might want to look at the Adams auction site every so often because
I know I do like that.
stuff.
Yes.
Okay.
But since I'm in the present, I'm pretty new at this, maybe a few years of doing wholesaling for a year and a half, doing a couple fix and flips. So since I'm in the presence of so many people who have experience, I have a question. I'm in communication with someone in Ferguson, and we went to see the house yesterday. He owes $57,000 on the house, and I would say the house needs probably about $40,000 in work. So that's just not going to work for rehabbing the property and what you could get back on it. A neighbor who is a minister, he said there are 7 properties on the block where the properties are vacant. So when I'm in communication with this guy, I know that I can wholesale. I could maybe even possibly, if he's in a situation, to do a short sale. But other than that, I want it to be a win-win for everyone. And I don't know what else to offer him. So
just one more caveat to the story. We suspect by the conversation we had with this young gentleman who was the minister that he's trying to sustain his block and neighborhood by assisting people getting into rental properties in the area. He may be doing, lease to purchase, but he gave us a little background information. Apparently someone, and he said he thinks maybe the bank came over and secured the front door because the front door was supposed to be open and put a lockbox on the back. Well, he literally busted the front door in to give us access to it. It's pretty cool, really. And we think maybe it's going into foreclosure soon, obviously. So we couldn't find any information about it, but I think, and I want your opinion, should Jean approach this gentleman saying, this minister that let us in said that somebody was by the house, secured the property by a lockbox and new locks. Do you have an issue with the bank? Are you going to lose this property if we can't work something out? Should we just
and
put it
plus,
out there?
just to help the neighborhood, but they have 7 vacant properties, and this minister's trying to build up something, but he doesn't have the capital to do the rehabs on the properties. And so, yeah, it would just be great to try to help communities like that.
So is the
That was a
question,
mouthful.
are you guys asking if it's appropriate to ask the owner questions about it? 1000% ask.
Okay, yeah.
Just
They're
be
like-
honest, right?
And just, it's all about mindset. It's like, you're not asking to be nosy. You're not asking to embarrass them. You're asking to help them. And any question that comes to your mind that you think the information they can give you will allow you to help them is appropriate to always ask. That's something I had to get over when I first started wholesaling. I was raised to be polite, don't be nosy, don't ask people about finances. And there's a place to be like that, but in our business, in the business we're in of helping people, when I got over that, I was able to do so much more, not only for myself and my business, but for them. So ask away. And
So
the thing that surprised me is how much people are willing to tell you. It is crazy. Like, they will absolutely tell you when they know that you're coming from a good place. So go for it.
Right, but we don't feel that the 57,000, in its current condition, it is not worth 57,000. It's too much. It's way too much.
And that's
But
what
if
you
we
have
can
to be,
turn,
Yeah,
that's why you have to be honest with him and
Right.
let him know. So, I agree with Laura 100%. However, I would not mention you broke into his house and trespassed.
oh, no, we'll let the minister tell him about that.
I wouldn't
I
want
saw
anything to do with
nothing.
that.
Yeah, he trusts his minister and he asked us to call him to gain access to the property.
Okay.
Right, and that he did.
yeah. It just sounds like this is a short sale at best.
Right.
Okay.
So it's up to you guys if you want to put the time and effort into that.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Absolutely.
definitely if you are, and if you have a way to really, there's a company called Short Sale Experts. There's a lot of other companies like that, people that can help you do a short sale with a seller. But really, yeah, like see what you can bring to the table to help him and really get him on board with the work that it takes on the seller side to also produce the outcome of a short sale.
Yeah.
He has to do a lot of paperwork and just really be real with him. And, it's probably, maybe his best outcome truly is that he walks away without a foreclosure at this point and he gets nothing except that he got to walk away without extra damage to his credit
Right.
score.
Yeah,
Right.
I'd be curious if that 57,000 he's trying to make a profit, or if that's what's really owed. So you need to
I
find
did
out what he
check.
wants.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did check,
Yeah.
and he actually, the site said he owed 60,000.
Yeah.
So I kind of believe that it's 57,000.
Okay,
And
well,
And he seemed pretty sincere.
if I'll, yeah, like Laura said, a short sale would be good if he wants to walk away without a foreclosure on his record. If he's trying to make some money, then you just got to talk to him, say, hey, I can help, but this is what it's got to be. And if he doesn't want your help, or if you two can't come to an agreement, then it's you just have to walk away. Don't make a bad deal.
Yeah, and while the property was vacant, his last tenant moved out, someone, I guess, gained access to the property, obviously had some mental issues, broke out every single window, took a hammer to the countertops in the kitchen. It's kind of a wreck right now. It's in bad shape.
Yeah, and you can use that saying this house is not worth 57, but yeah.
Right. Yeah.
But
then,
there's options.
And also, the minister told us about the property next door that has been vacant for a very long time, and it's an LLC. Is there some way to gain access to telephone numbers or contact information of LLC?
Oh yeah. Go to the county tax records, see where the tax bill's getting sent to.
I did do that, but there's no telephone number, and I did free.
You just have to send them a letter.
Well, you could also go to the Secretary of State website for Missouri and search the LLC name,
Okay.
and then pull up the documents and see if you can find the name of the people who originated or are part of the LLC, and then use those names in truepeoplesearch.com to find phone numbers.
Okay.
And keep in mind, it takes a little bit of, it did for me, it took a little bit of practice to figure out how to figure out the names of owners versus registered agents. Sometimes that gets
Right,
convoluted. Yeah, but just be aware of that. It's no big deal. I accidentally called a registered agent last week. I'll get to the owner today. It's no big deal. Just find those names and then go to True People Search and find phone numbers that way. But Jim's also right about sometimes you can reverse search the address on the tax record if it's for like a residential property, like a home versus an office building, then that may also get you, the name of the owner, which then you can use to search for the phone number.
Thanks so much.
Yes, and one other thing that the minister also said, he has a church, 17,000 square foot church that he's putting up for sale for 195,000. So if anybody's interested, let me know and I'll get more information from them.
Yeah. So I'm going to give you one of my, I won't say secrets because I got it from somebody else, but another good way to find vacant properties in different neighborhoods, ask the mailman.
Yeah,
Postman.
yes.
They know it's vacant.
Mm-hmm.
So if there's a specific area you want, track down the mail person, the mailman, and see what they got to say.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, letter carriers are great. I've used them a lot over the years, and they can't maybe tell you stuff about specific situations, but they know where the mail's accumulating and stuff like that. And
Yeah.
You had said too that you, one of the things that's helped me as far as you didn't maybe want to ask some personal information, you might want to ask permission to ask the question. Sometimes that helps. Like say, do you mind if I would ask you about the financing on your property? Would you mind if I ask you if it's in foreclosure? Because that way it kind of gives them an easy way to say no if they don't want to answer it. But I've really never had anybody that would do that. I mean, most of the time when you ask it that way, it kind of breaks the ice and makes it a little more gentle. So you may try that when, if you're uncomfortable about a question.
Yeah, that is good. Thank you.
Yeah, especially if they know you're trying to help them and that's trying to,
Yep.
take advantage of them.
Absolutely. And yeah, that was a great point Laura brought up too about the Secretary of State. And yeah, some of them are registered agents, but it doesn't matter. You can go to the truepeoplesearch.com, and some of those that are hard to find are the best ones too, because not a lot of people give up rather than to go on the extra couple steps to find them. So yeah, it's great information here.
Yeah, last thing that came to my mind, whenever I'm trying to decide whether or not to approach a sensitive subject to a seller, I always remind myself I can't say the wrong thing to the right person, right? So if it doesn't go well, it's fine. We just part as friends on the phone. It's no big deal. But if someone's truly motivated and if I'm truly in the right place to help them, I'm really not going to be able to say the wrong thing to them. So I always kind of err on the go for it side of things when I remember that I can't say the wrong thing to the right person.
Yes, thank you very much. Good stuff today. Good conversation. Anybody have anything else they'd like to share right now?
One quick question here is, when you're looking up a property in St. Louis County on the county records, you can see square footage. But on the city, I can't seem to find that anywhere on the city database search. But when you go to like Zillow, you know, all that stuff populates. Where are they drawing that information? Or am I just missing something on the city county record or the city record? Anybody know that?
Scott, I'm not sure exactly where they draw it from. Zillow gets a lot of data from the MLS, and but I want to caution you on getting square footage from the county records, because that's a major issue that we've been having, is that a lot of times those they come from just an outside square footage and they calculate on that, and that's not necessarily correct. So just be careful of using that. You know, we've been fighting with assessors and county clerks and all that about that square footage. So what's accurate. So there actually was a lawsuit in St. Louis. I think it was Coldwell Banker. They got sued because they sold a property and told the buyer that the square footage was X, and they were using the county records, which was an exterior square footage measurement, and it had a vaulted ceiling. It had it like a loft. So then that much square footage from the living room to the ceiling of the second floor was calculated, but didn't exist. So you have to be careful of that.
Scott, I am a realtor in Missouri, so if you just needed something to know square footage, I have access to that through the MLS or the realist section. And if you just want to email me, I can certainly look that up for you.
Okay, thank you.
That's a great point, David, too, because St. Louis County does do a lot of, I call it magic with their figures. I had a house that they counted 600 square foot in the basement as because it was kind of semi-fixed up as a part of the living area, where it really isn't. So you just don't know. We didn't get into a lawsuit or anything. But then again, when I did have them come out to look at the property, they found some things they didn't like because they really didn't want to come out and look at it. So they found a couple other things that I had to deal with. So there's always caution anytime you want to bring stuff up. But yeah, the information is not 100% accurate by any means. And even when I put it out there. All right. Anything else anybody'd like to share with us today? Anybody need anything, want anything? Got a lot of good things today here. Or is everybody just ready for the holiday or whatever their weekend's going to bring?
Oh, I have a quick question. Nice to see everyone. I usually can't make these meetings. But I've got a couple of condos that are non-warrantable in the Central West End. Does anyone know any lenders for more than 50% of the condos are rented, so you can't get traditional financing?
That's a good question. Does anybody know of any non-traditional lenders? You may try the JM Real Estate Capital. It's one of the vendors on the STLREIA website. I don't know. They do a lot of stuff nobody else does. You may need to look at a hard lender. They're not exactly hard money, but they do have some hard money programs, but they also have everything down to traditional, and they'll do a lot of things for investors. So I believe their number is 1-800-WE-CLOSE.
Okay.
But it's on the website. I believe that's what it is. That's what sticks in my head. Now they'll probably have another number where you can get a hold of Steve directly if you want to do that. But if anybody else has any information they'd like to share. Yeah, Central West End, you said, Sylvia?
Can you explain that a little bit more? I don't think I understood what you mean by not warrantable.
Yeah, so in order for Fannie and Freddie to buy mortgages on condos, there are certain criteria that have to be met. One is that like 90% have to have been turned over to the owners. No more than 50% of the units can be occupied as rentals. So they've got like a 50% owner occupant or second home occupancy requirement, and can't be in litigation, things like that. And because these two properties don't have rental caps, more than 50% of the units are rentals. And so that takes you out of the running for traditional financing. I mean, the numbers work. It's just that I'm trying to do a cash out refi if possible. Right now, I purchased them cash with a couple of HELOCs, and the interest rates are going up. So I've got a couple of teaser rates that are currently still valid, but it's probably going to get a lot worse towards the end of the year. So I'm just looking to see what the options are for non-warrantable condos where the numbers work, but they don't meet Fannie and Freddie guidelines.
So Sylvia, what are you using the properties? Gosh, what are you using the properties for? Are they rentals or Airbnb that you're doing there?
Just buy and hold rentals. I'm
Okay.
trying to work my way up the ladder, but right now I'm just that basic buy and hold rentals.
Okay, so I don't know what I'm talking about here, but I mean, the one question that comes to my mind is, could you go get a commercial loan instead of like a Fannie or Freddie backed?
Yeah, I'll look
Because
into it. I've never
yeah.
crossed into more than a quad, so I've never delved into the commercial waters. So I don't really know exactly what that entails, but I'll definitely look into it.
Okay, yeah, I just refied two of my rental properties with Doug Weber. I'll put his info in the chat. Doug Weber at First State Bank of St. Charles. And you know, they do a lot of lending for a lot of people I know who have a lot of properties. So now I went commercial, and there are, you know, it is different. And, you know, the interest rate can and will fluctuate over a period of years, but probably less often than your HELOC. Again, I don't know. But anyway, it may just be something to look into that can help you now, and none of us know what the future holds. So maybe you adjust in the future, but it could be a solution for now at least. Yeah, so I'll put his information in the chat, and it's just something that came to my mind. I don't know the real answer for you.
Thanks.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, and thanks, Steve. Yeah, it's 844-WE-CLOSE for them. Yeah, yeah. So yeah, it's not 800. I know they changed a lot of those 8 lines recently, but okay. And it looks like Reggie put something from the city of St. Louis in our chat too. So that might be helpful. Let's see, for square footage, looks like livable. Yeah. So there's another resource for us. Thank you. Yeah, Sylvia, you'll have to let us know how you end up with this, because it's always good when we don't have, when we come into a new situation, we don't really have all the answers for that, because you'll be the pioneer on this, and you can help us with that. So, because
Yeah, I will do the legwork, and looking forward to it. I don't live locally anymore. I'm from St. Louis, but have a couple of properties there. But yeah, I'll hit the pavement and report back.
great. Yeah, we all learn together, and we always appreciate that. Where are you at right now? You moved out of the area, you said?
Yeah, I live in Seattle, but born and raised in St. Louis, and on pins and needles for the Blues game tonight.
Yes, go Blues. Yeah, that's great. Well, we appreciate you tuning in, because I know it's a couple hours earlier for you out there. So, all right. Oh, here's some other information from Laura. And from Doug Weber. Yeah, be sure you take down their information right there too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Another source. Yeah. You can't have too many money sources. Right now, it seems like there's a lot of them out there, but I'll tell you, my experiences from before, a lot of them dried up during the last ice age. I don't know that we're going to have another one, but people are already tightening up their belt a little bit on what's going on with real estate. So it's, you can't have too many money sources.
That's true.
Mm-hmm. All right, a lot of good stuff. Anybody else have anything they'd like to share? Anybody looking for anything? Anybody have anything? No, everybody else got all the money they need.
Never.
All the deals they need. I know.
Hey, Sylvia, if something happens to work out with Doug, just mention my name to him. I'm just trying to make that relationship as strong as I can. I don't get anything or anything like that, but even if you just call him, mention my name. And then if this doesn't work out for you, if you just keep hitting a wall with these properties, like give me a ring down the road. Maybe there's something else I can come up. I know a lot of people who would take over property in that area. I realize that's not the area, that's not the direction you're trying to go right now. I totally get that. But I'm just saying, if you get stuck again or continue to stay stuck, call me and we can spend more time brainstorming about it. And maybe, listening more to what you've got going on, I could come up with some other type of solution that could work. I have no idea, but I just get a feeling to say that to you. So.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, no
I'll put my contact info in the chat. I'm always looking for deals and just trying to get more into real estate, keeping my day job, but still want to transition more into real estate.
Okay, great.
All right. Anybody else have anything they'd like to share today? No? Everybody ready for an early lunch, it sounds like? And next week, we do have Catherine Davis, ask the attorney. I think we've already got some good questions for her. I know Dwayne was asking about some landlocked properties, and there's always good stuff. She always has the latest info on the courts, and everything else is pretty pertinent to what we have going on around here.
Hey, Laura, do you have a few minutes after this call for a phone call if I give you a call, or a better time work?
Yeah, no, the heads up is perfect. I'll just sit here until I hear from you, hopefully right away, because I do have something else going on, but it's not like a hard meeting. So yeah, call me when we get off here. I'll wait for you.
Perfect. Thanks.
Yeah, thanks, Scott.
All right, well, maybe we should go to lunch early then if nobody else has anything. A lot of good shares today. We appreciate everybody. Everybody tuning in, and yeah, a lot of good stuff. We'll have the replay up as soon as I can. I don't know what our webmaster Patrick's schedule is this weekend. I sent him something yesterday and haven't heard back from him for another thing, another website. So I don't know if he's on vacation. He's usually pretty good about getting it. So it should be up normally by over the weekend. But if he has it there today, I will have it on YouTube though, the link. So if you want a link to the replay before it's on the website, let me know and I'd be happy to send that to you. I'll have it at least by midnight tonight. So,
Hey, John, real
Yes,
quick,
ma'am.
I want to take a quick poll. And I guess you guys can raise your hand or whatever in the chat, but are there any Airbnb hosts in the group today? All right, I don't think so. All right, well, never mind. Then I had a very interesting situation come up with one of my properties, so I was just going to ask a question. So never mind.
Hey, Amber, do you know Jason Licavoli or Lee Cavoli? I don't know how to say his last name. Do you know him?
I don't.
Okay, I will get you connected to him. He's one of the main people I know of for Airbnb that's like in the investor networking space. Anyway, either he could answer it or I'm sure he knows other people in the space, and he's super friendly, outgoing guy. So I can get you guys connected if you would like.
Sure, I'll reach out to you, Laura.
Okay.
It was just I had my property, somebody reached out and they wanted 2 months, and I thought, oh, this is great. And they obviously were going to pay in advance because it's Airbnb. But then he goes on to tell this story, which anytime somebody tells you a story is never good. He met these 2 women and their house burned down, and he's going to pay for them to stay in the Airbnb for 2 months, and red flags all over, right? I'm like, no.
And the one thing I don't know enough to speak about, but I've heard people talk about is like when you have these Airbnb or short-term rentals, if you go past 30 days, I think I heard it on here with Kathy Davis, it goes into like tenant situation, like the whole.
Exactly.
Yeah. So anyway, you're probably correct on the red flag stuff there.
Yeah, I just thought, then if something happened to me, it was going to be 2 women and I guess 3 kids maybe. To me, with the whole eviction moratorium, just the first thing that came out was they probably got evicted from somewhere else. He maybe, I don't know who this person was or whatever scam that they were working, but I've just seen too many news reports about people who get into a property and then start not to pay you. So I told them, sorry, actually, I don't let, which is actually true. I don't let anybody local live in my units. That's just a rule that I have, and it's worked out for me. So,
yeah.
Yeah, I think your feelings are right, Amber. It sounds like the red flags. Anytime there's red flags, there's usually something to go with that. And that would actually be a great question to bring up, like Laura said, again, with Kathy Davis next week. If you're able to attend next Friday, she'll be right there, and that'd be a great question. But I believe Laura's absolutely right. If it goes over 30 days, over a month, you're into a different tenant situation than a short-term rental. So that's always
well, and he was reaching out to me was the other thing. And I did flag him actually on Airbnb because you're reaching out to me, but if something happens, I'm going to ruin your reputation on Airbnb, but not those ladies. I have no idea who they are. I mean, obviously, if it made sense to me, I would sign a lease with them, not necessarily him, and hold them accountable. But again, red flags, I just walked away from it.
Yeah, I think you're smart for doing that.
Yeah, I'm just going to jump in. I don't practice in Missouri. I practice out here, but a couple of things that would raise a red flag is how did their last place burn down? And if you're not being contacted, but I've worked with insurance companies where if there's like some sort of renter's policy and they're responsible for temporarily housing someone with the policy, then they could be the liaison with Airbnb because that's typically cheaper than the per diem at a hotel. But if this is a random person who is trying to get the Airbnb for two people that you don't know. And yeah, that just seems like they'll pay for 2 months up front and then never leave.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a great point. Thank you, Sylvia. Yeah, for if the insurance is involved, it's a whole different story than if it's just some random person. I can definitely see that.
Yeah, there's just a scam everywhere. So I was just curious if anybody had any. I mean, like I said, I reported him on Airbnb because who knows if somebody will fall for this. And he could totally be a nice person trying to help these people out. But again, it just screams run to me. So
Yeah, that's Ron. I know of short-term rentals where you can contractually agree to things for things like traveling nurses, where again, you want the liaison to be an official company that you can have a contract through, so you can have a little bit more recourse instead of just random people asking for multiple months.
thank you.
Anybody have anything else before we go here? No? Well, I thank everybody for attending today. I think we had some great stuff. And like I said, I'll have the replay up as soon as I can, as soon as I get the rendition done. Thanks for everybody for attending and sharing your information. I mean, we all learned this stuff together, and I love our every Friday at 11 events we have, every week. So look forward to seeing you all next week. And if you have anything else, you can always reach out to me. Make sure you got down all your contact information for anybody you would like to follow up with. Everybody put in their info that would like to be contacted, looks like, in here. So thanks again. We'll see y'all soon.